Hi everyone, Tori here, today with a album share. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, and I thought it would be fun to share with you another one of my albums from my trip with the African Children's Choir. I'll link below for you the other two that I've shared. This is the third of a 4-album set that cover the year and a half that I was with the African Children's Choir. So without further ado, here we go. I've used a Becky Higgins Project Life album, and my cover is pretty simple, but I decided to go with a large 12 by 12 photo because this is one of the things I absolutely love doing in my albums. And a lot of you, I'm sure, will have questions about this, so just quickly, I print off 12 by 12 photos like this one at Costco. They're pretty cheap, and then I just cut them to fit the page protector that I've used. Oops, sorry about that. So I just cut it to fit the page protector that I've decided to use, and for this one I've used Design E. Sorry. Okay, hopefully, yeah, there we go. Sorry. And this is from March, starting in March 2013. And you're not going to be able to see it all, but I'll just move things over. I love Design E. You can either go with like full page photos or more of like a scrapbook layout. And that's just a photo of me and some of the aunties and a calendar of where we are. And as you'll notice from my other albums, I have a calendar in for each month, and it shows like all the places we went, which was really good because it's a great way to document all the things we did. Like for example, in March we were in California, and then we were in Nevada, and then Utah, Colorado, and we did lots of things like Easter, and it just shows all of that. So we did a gondola ride, and I think this was taken in California, somewhere in the mountains, and the kids loved it. They screamed lots. I love their little pictures. And this is one of the things that I really enjoyed doing in this album, was using the white space on photos to do journaling. You'll notice that some of the cards that I've used are from Becky Higgins page protectors or Becky Higgins core kits, and then some are from the Studio Calico kits. And I love it when the two layouts look like they go together like this. Some more just tiny details, embellishments, sequins, which I love. Some more journaling on the white space. Using transparency stickers. Another 12 by 12 photo, which I just love. And I've just used stickers on the mountain side here, which you can see there, and worked really well. And then here I just had some nature photos, and I wanted to highlight those, so I just used simple cards to just really make those stand out. This was the first time we took the kids roller skating, and it was hilarious because they just fell down the whole entire time, but it was such a good experience. I just have to show you this photo because this is the cutest. Look at that, Eric. I think in the third album is when I really sort of like hit my stream. I knew what I liked. I like embellishing. I like when the pages look like they go together and have the same color scheme. I like keeping some photos plain where they just have the photo like this, and I like some where there's extra details and journaling, and I really enjoy doing inserts like this one. And my layouts are pretty photo heavy, but I also do have journaling on most of the pages. You'll notice that I got to one and I haven't finished this, but everything else in the layout album is finished. Some pages have lots of photos and then some have fewer, and then when they have fewer I just use different embellishments and filler cards. Like these are just filler cards, and this one is actually an old calendar that I cut out. Another calendar of what we did. Some journaling. I'm not a big green fan, but these photos were a little dark, so I was trying to find a color to help them go together, and I felt like the green worked well. This is when we did a concert for Samaritan's Purse for 20,000 people, which was pretty crazy. In this album, I also did some watercoloring, just on some cards, or I just did it on a regular like 8.5 by 11 and then cut it into the cards that fit, and I just love the way that that looks out. So you can see watercoloring there and there. This is I guess this is 12 by 6. I got that print at Costco and cut it down to fit. And I really love that photo, and I think it works well like that. One thing you'll notice though is that if you're cutting photos and there's somebody's face, it doesn't look that great to cut their face in half. So I learned that after this photo. Visiting the United States Olympic Center, training center, and that was really fun. And I love the colors went with sort of a red, white, and blue. I love that I can use Project Life mixed with other page protector sizes, and it lets me use like lots of photos, and I can make my own journaling cards, or I can use like Studio Calico cards like this one. Some more watercoloring mixed media cards that I made, like these ones I made myself. With some embossing and watercoloring and things like that. This card I watercolored myself and add some hand stitching. This is a pretty full album, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'm just sort of flipping through things, and if I notice anything that stands out, I'll mention it, but I mean, there's some more watercoloring. I think in this layout I decided I liked watercoloring my own cards, so I did that a lot. Even some misting, like these are the Heidi Swapp misting things. And I even added misting to a regular card, which you can see there. But again, typically I go with 1 or 2 colors per spread or per layout. So like this side is green and this side is yellow. And I think that that helps it to stay consistent. Often I like to repeat the same pattern to help something look consistent too. So like that's a 12 by 12 paper that I've cut into 3 by 4 slots. And I even like to use things around my house, like this braided piece here. I think I cut that off of something. Not sure what. Some buttons from clothes, old clothes. I think that I took those off a sweater. And then here you'll see that I've mixed 12 by 12 spreads in with Project Life pages. And I love that that just gives me a creative outlet to do my large 12 by 12 spreads and also mix it with Project Life. Because if you have a page, like this one is where one of the girls lost her tooth. So I wrote her a little letter from the Tooth Fairy. Then you can do a 12 by 12 spread, but if you just have a really great photo you want to highlight, you can print it off and put it in Project Life pages, which I just love the way that that works out. I think this is one of my favorite pages. On tour, the kids don't really get to see their family at all, and we don't get to see our family at all, but we had this great opportunity when 2 choirs sort of collided. Well, they didn't collide. We met up, and 2 of the kids from my tour had brothers and sisters in the other tour, so they got to see their siblings. And my older brother was actually a chaperone on the other tour, so I got to see him too. And I just love this page. I love those photos. It's just a really strong memory. Now we're into July 2013. And you can see some of the photos are a little more summery, like the 4th of July, which this is fun. I went with red, white, and blue. As a Canadian, I don't really get to do pages like that, but since we were in the States, I believe we were in South Carolina, or North Carolina, I get to do 4th of July pages. And get to make really awesome 12 by 12 spreads when I have a photo that I really want to highlight. Like this photo is just amazing to me that it needed to have its own page. It didn't really work well in a Project Life thread. And this is something that I want to point out too. If you want your pages to look like they go together, but don't necessarily want them to be exactly the same, if you use similar elements on both pages, it looks like they go together. So I use these designs from a Studio Calico scrapbook kit, and then the card kit pattern paper also had those designs, so I cut them out. And then I've used the same Color Theory paper here, and then the same pattern paper here, so these two layouts look like they go together even though they're not exactly the same. I'm not really a themey kind of person, but when we did a baseball, these are all baseball photos, I had to go with theme because, I mean, how cute is the baseball theme here? And this is when the kids sang the national anthem for Atlanta Braves game. So I have a ticket and photos of the game. Here I've misted for this title. It says, "Take me out to the ball game." I've included some tags in here that can just come out. And this is a really cute thing. Evander Holyfield, I think his name is, came and visited the kids. So there's a picture of the kids with him. And then back to just regular life. So like sometimes it's an event like this that's demonstrated, and sometimes it's just regular life, like being tired and sleeping, waiting for the concert, or going to do a fun event where, like at a school concert. Sometimes I didn't necessarily have a lot of photos, so I had to use more filler cards. Like on this one, I used a paper and then bingo dabbed it to make all those dots. Okay, now to the good stuff. We got to go to Disney World, which was awesome, and I have a bunch of pages of Disney, which I absolutely love. So I'll just show you those. And one of the great things about this was that because I'm going more with a monthly spread, if I have 4 or 5 pages for one thing that I want to do, I can do that. And if I only have 1 page for a month, that works well too. So Disney was big, so I had lots of things that I wanted to show. Like a large group photo outside the castle, which, you know, everybody has their castle photo. And I did that as a 12 by 8 that I cut down to fit into those slots. And then here, I just wanted it to be simple. I wanted this to be the main focus on here, so I just used a pattern paper and then put a little stamp and thing down in that corner. Again, I wanted the photo on this side to be simple, so I used a 12 by 12 paper, cut it down, and just put one photo here. And it says, "Those who don't believe in magic will never find it." This works for Disney. Over here I have a 12 by 12 spread with me and 2 of the girls outside the castle. Love that page. Ooh, this one's a fun one. In the Magic Kingdom, they have these like hanging head things, and I got 4 individual photos of people in them, and then I cut them and made it look like we're all hanging in it. It just says, "Just hanging around." Oh, I love that page. Some memorabilia. I kept some of our cards for the day and stuck those in there, and it's fun because you can see our names on the back. It was just a fun insert for that. And then some photos from the day. Some more photos on the rides. The kids are so excited seeing the parade. This photo is really fun. Angel on our team wants to be the president when she grows up, so we took a picture of her outside the Hall of Presidents. And I just cut up a journaling card that said, "Remember, it's better to look up." Here, some journaling and some cards. See, I have lots of photos, and I mean, the thing was that Disney was such a great experience for me that I needed to document it all. So I think there's like 6 pages for Disney, but I mean, totally worth it because it was a great event. And this was after Disney. The kids, I've been reading them Peter Pan, and they love that story, that the boys would often act out Peter Pan and Hook in the park. And this is one of my favorite pages. I used an old book to create the back pages, and then somebody had sent me colored pictures of a Peter Pan book, because it's my favorite book, and I cut out the characters and put them on that book pages. I love the way that this works. Peter Pan versus Hook. And it just tells such a great story. So that one's probably, I think this is my favorite page in the whole album. Some other random moments. Another 12 by 12 page, which I did this a lot because it's just one of my favorite things to do, and I really think it helps an awesome photo and a great memory stand out in a really great way. The kids recorded a CD for Slugs and Bugs, or that's what the CD was called. So here's another piece of memorabilia, a name tag. On the back it has my name, but I just stuck that in there, which is fun. And photos of the kids recording for that CD. The first time they had Krispy Kremes. Just other moments just with each other, hanging out and getting to do our thing. Great memory. Some of the kids on our tour wanted to be baptized. So we baptized them in the lake, Jordan Lake, which was really awesome. So this is what this story documents, and I was able to add lots of journaling because it was a really good moment for all of us. A postcard that I cut down, which had 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17 on it, so that's there. And then another photo, and just added some washi tape on this one, which was a fun element to add to the cards. And then 2 awesome photos, silhouettes of the kids jumping in the water, which I just love this. This is all the girls, this is all the boys, but it looks like the photo just goes right across the page. And I kept it consistent by having just a plain, simple top and just the photo, which I love the way that this looks. Some more summary type photos, kids playing soccer and things. And then it finishes with a 12 by 12 spread. Patience and Patricia. And some journaling. And then, that's not supposed to be there. And then the last page of the album. Here we go, to be continued. And this is at the end of this album is when we're flying to the UK. And the next album is all of our time in the UK. So we were in the States for 16 months, visited 37 states, also went to Canada and visited a province, headed back to the States, visited all those places, and now we're going to the UK, or that's where the next album is, and so this one finishes with just to be continued. So anyways, I think that is pretty much it. It's a quick walkthrough of this album, and I think it totally shows my style and almost like an evolution of style for me, some of my favorite elements, and hopefully I've given you some inspiration and ideas. If you have any questions at all, anything you want to know, leave me a comment in the comment box and I'd be happy to answer. And I love that this is part 3 of a 4-part system, but it also has its own story, and there's so many things going on in this album, and so many really fun elements that I was able to include in my Project Life pages and also in my 12 by 12 spreads. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!